Welcome to the channel Studies in English Literature and Language. And today's topic of discussion is Salman Rushdie's short story, The Free Radio. And I shall give you an overview of this short story. Firstly, I shall give you an introduction and then I shall provide the detailed summary of this short story, and after that I shall analyze some of the important themes and symbols of this short story. Let's start. What is the context of this short story? This short story is taken from the volume entitled East West, and it was published in the year 1994. And what is the context of this short story? It was written against the background of the emergency that was thrust in India in the year 1975, when Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister. At the time, Nasbandi was forcefully done to control the population explosion. And what is Nasbandi? Nasbandi is a kind of vasectomy where the males are robbed of their power of reproduction. Now, coming to the short story, as it is a short story, you all know that there is paucity of characters here also. And here are a few characters, and who are those characters? Ramani. Ramani is a rickshaw puller, and he is the main character of this short story. He is a young man. And then there is the thief's widow. Thief's widow is the mother of 5 children, and she is another principal character. And our narrator, who is a retired teacher, is another character of this short story. Apart from these, there are the old cunnies of Ramani. So, like a short story, it has also a few characters. Now, coming to the summary of this short story, what we find that in this short story, Ramani the rickshaw puller is attracted by the beauty of the thief's widow, and he desired to marry her. The narrator of this short story, the retired school teacher who was well acquainted with the parents of Ramani, did not want this marriage to happen. But Ramani is reluctant to marry. Ramani is altogether attracted to that thief's widow, and he wants to marry her at any cost. And they roam in the whole city also. Now the thief's widow gives the condition that she will marry Ramani only when Ramani will do his vasectomy. As the thief's widow has 5 children, she doesn't want any more children now. So she wants Ramani to be vasectomized. But Ramani does not oppose to this condition. Rather, he willingly goes to the Nasbandi camp and undergoes vasectomy. But he has a kind of dream. What is his dream? He hopes that as he has sacrificed his masculinity, government will also provide him a radio at free of cost, as he has done his vasectomy. And in the hope of receiving a radio, he becomes totally joyous, and he roams in the city in the pose of listening a radio. But nothing arrives. And when the Nasbandi camp is again installed in his locality, he goes there to meet the officer and asks him about the radio. But he receives nothing. he is only severely beaten there. Then he realizes that he will not get his radio, but he has his dreams. He now leaves his residence and visits Mumbai with the hope that he will be an actor like Amitabh Bachchan. So, at the ending part, what we find that Ramani, along with his wife and the 5 children, has left his residence and has gone to Mumbai. And at the very ending part of this short story, Ramani is found to have given a letter to the narrator, that means the retired schoolmaster, and in that letter he states that he is on his way of becoming a film star. So this is the summary of this short story. Now coming to the theme of this short story, we find that one of the major themes of this short story is the relation between reality and fantasy. Ramani here easily believes in the fantasies about being a film star or receiving a radio as a thank you gift from the government for undergoing the sterilization surgery. In this sense, his act of dreaming of the free radio can be read as a comment on the fatal consequences of the propaganda. Actually, government propagated of that free radio, but that free radio gift was withdrawn also by the government, but that was not propagated, and public or the common people easily believed in the earlier propaganda, but they had no idea that that propaganda was already being withdrawn, but they still lived in that fantasy world of propaganda. Actually, we all are living in a propagandist world, and government is making fool of us in all ages. And the story focuses on this falsity of propaganda. Now coming to the symbolisms of this short story. Here several symbols have been used. The most important symbol of this short story is the free radio. And what is the symbolic manifestation of this free radio? Here the free radio is the symbol of self-deception and self-delusion. How it is the symbol of self-deception? Here Ramani believed that government will provide him the free radio as he has done his vasectomy and lived in that fantasy world of receiving the free radio, and thus he deceived himself. He lived in a kind of illusory world. And next comes the symbol of characters. Here the characters are also symbols. Firstly, the character of Ramani can be read as a symbol of the marginalized youths of the society, while the narrator, the retired schoolmaster, is an idealistic old man. The thief's widow represents the women who have to rely on the tag of their husband's identity. Here, that widow is not given any name. She is only referred as the thief's widow. And who is the thief? Her earlier husband was a thief, but she was not a thief, but she is tagged by the identity of her husband. And here is a comment on the society where women are not given any identity. They are tagged by the identity of the others. either they are tagged by the identity of their father or brother or sons or their own husbands. So here the characters are the symbols. And next comes another important theme of this short story. And what is the theme? The theme is the conflict of two generations. Here the two characters, two important characters, Ramani and the narrator, who is a retired school teacher. They belong to two different generations. Ramani, though young in age, is progressive in his thoughts. And as he is progressive in his thoughts, he decides to marry the thief's widow. But the narrator, though he is a school teacher, he is an educated man, he is backward in his thinking. He never thinks of the marriage between Ramani and the thief's widow. To him, a widow cannot marry because she has lost her virginity. She is not a pure woman and she doesn't have that quality to be a wife again. So the thoughts of the old schoolmaster are backdated. Though he has a degree, he is educated in the social terms, in the academic terms, but he is backward in his thoughts. He still lies in those dark ages where women had no liberty, where women were considered as a body only. And next important theme of this short story is the theme of gender bias. Here the narrator, that means our school teacher, is a patriarch and believes in the procreative sexual power, not in the recreative sexuality. So marriage to him is a means of production. Actually, to quote the words of Judge Bernard Shaw, to the school teacher, marriage is nothing but a legal prostitution. Moreover, to him, the widow doesn't have any individuality and she is tagged with the identity of her previous husband who was a thief. So she is given a negative identity. Her qualities are not foregrounded. So, what it shows that our school teacher, that means our narrator, the retired school teacher, is backward in his thinking and he can be described as a misogynist also. Moreover, to the narrator, Ramani's present wife, that means the thief's widow, is a spider woman. And our narrator thinks that this thief's widow has trapped Ramani by the magic of her physical attraction. Moreover, the narrator presumes that she has spoiled Ramani and he has another negative idea about the thief's widow. And what is that idea? That this thief's widow is associated with prostitution. So, here the thief's widow has been presented in a totally negative way. Her negativities have been highlighted. Actually, the patriarchs of the society especially the narrator, that means the retired school teacher, doesn't foreground her qualities. Rather, she is presented in derogatory way, and that is the conservative patriarchal society's way of looking at the woman. So far, I have discussed the themes of this short story, summary of this short story, and some background information related with this short story. If you like this video, kindly like my video, and also I am requesting you to please subscribe my channel, and also please share this video among your friends and other students. Thank you. Thanks for watching this video attentively till the end.